the executive mayor of Amathole asincede ngomthandazo. Inkosi executive mayor. Thank you very much, Sotolopo. The program was shared yesterday when we met, and I guess everybody else in the room does have the program. In the program, it does indicate that the person speaking is going to be program directing. My name is William Lokoti. I will be managing this short program on behalf of the department. MEC, the session we had yesterday was a very exciting one. We hadn't seen you dancing for a very long time. We saw you dancing yesterday. We just fell short of you being joined by Utaro Koboshiane. I was hoping that he was going to join you as well. But you danced the night out yesterday. So we had a lot of dancers that we saw for the first time yesterday. I saw a lot of mayors who displayed their energy and tactics that I had not seen for a very long time. So it was clear yesterday that it was meant to be a networking session, and a session where all of us would come together in different tables. The executive mayor of Jogabi did give an instruction clearly yesterday that we can't be sitting in one table as one district. We're only disappointed by Sarah Patman. Sarah Patman disobeyed the orders yesterday because they converged in one table as the mayors of the district. And I thought that they require a bit of reprimand in the next meeting of SALGA. It was actually uncalled for that they couldn't actually comply with the instruction given. We met yesterday, Tadu Kwazinamba. We did acknowledge yesterday the chairpersons of the local houses. And I'm glad that they have been able to be visible today and joined us as well. Besikwana ke izolo Tadu Chezile and Chawe in relation to what we did yesterday. So today we're starting on part B, not a very long program, mayors and executive mayors and chief whips and speakers of this province. We'll try and help each other in relation to how we navigate through the short program. This morning we had part A with the bus that was not very full at 8:30. And I must say that we hope the bus would be full at 8 o'clock. We waited until 8:30, and by the time the bus departed, I could see that there were mayors who were not in the bus. And yesterday we said all the mayors must be present at 8. And I am not sure whether there was a traffic jam between Port Elizabeth and this place, but we did not see most of them in the morning. I hope that they're able to make it in the morning. There were the three things that were raised, I think, that came from the session that we had yesterday. The MEC, in his keynote yesterday, spoke very strongly around public participation. and got deep into the necessity of us to engage our communities and give feedback in relation to the work being done by our own municipalities. So that was the first part that was very strong and so well communicated in the delivered speech yesterday. And I think that we were able yesterday to amplify the importance of social disconnection that has actually occurred over the past number of years, which we think that we must try and remedy, because there's been a lot of social disconnection between our communities and our leaders that has occurred, which has contributed towards the upheavals that have emerged over the past number of years and dissatisfaction. The satisfaction survey that we have received, that we shared with the Executive Council subcommittee this week, was speaking in volumes in relation to how the public perceives us in terms of service delivery. So that matter was shared yesterday, and we thought that it was a very important point for us to note. And we don't want a situation where we proceed to the next elections with the kind of survey results that we had yesterday. The second part that was raised by the MEC yesterday was the importance of us having to appreciate the service delivery as a non-negotiable issue. I know the executive mayor of Joe Gabi, when she summarized, she said she can't go back to the word KK that was used, but I think the point was made that we really can't be able to be working over that KK every time in our province. And it's important that that issue must be part of our agendas as and when we communicate and engage our communities, because it just becomes unacceptable that in this day and age, when the leadership that we have here is leading and no longer the apartheid regime that is in power, we still have the problems that we experienced before 1990, also prevalent in our communities. The third point that was very strong, which is yesterday made, my honorable chiefs, is the importance of the participation of the ward, of the traditional leaders in ward committees. Yesterday, that point was made, and I think we did make that point when we met the traditional leaders in Mthatha about a few weeks ago. So we did say yesterday, we must come to a stage where we appreciate the importance of the traditional leaders in the ward committees and have them being part and parcel of the fabric of that work being done by communities. It can't be correct that there is a distance between the ward committees and the traditional leaders as we have them. So that point was made quite strongly yesterday. And I do want to believe that our mayors did embrace that call, that moving forward, we'll try by any means to ensure that we change our mindset, our approach in relation to how we engage our traditional communities and make them part and parcel of the fabric that is supposed to be enhancing our capacity and our work that we do in the municipalities. So this morning we are proceeding from that note that we had yesterday. Again, I'm going to call upon our host, the executive mayor of the Metro. We are being hosted here by the Metro, and yesterday we did express our appreciation in relation to the kind of contribution done by the Metro to welcome us. Executive Mayor, over to you.
Once again, good morning all. Let me say good morning to the MEC once again. I think it's our third day together today. And then I want to say good morning to Honorable Kobayashi. And then we also, I tried, man. You must hear how they get Van Niekerk wrong. And then I want to say good morning to all the other mayors. I think we still have some speakers, chief whips here this morning. I see my own honorable chief whip is also present here. Nearly said pregnant. But I want to latch on to, and I want to keep to my 10 minutes that's been allocated. Maybe I'll save us some time. But I want to take us back to when we had our first public participation meeting in Kualanga the other day. And the MEC spent roughly about 10 minutes speaking about, before I get to the governance side of things, about the hatred that's being encouraged in our communities. So as you know, the city has experienced quite a number of killings over the last couple of months. But what we've also seen, and this was debated quite extensively in our MEC, it was debated in our mayoral committee meeting about the state and the filth in our city. And we had an MEC visiting our area in Kualanga, one of our suburbs. And we were promised that it will be cleaned up. Why it's only being cleaned up because the MEC is coming, that's another issue. Because the area should always be clean. We can't just do it for the MEC or when I, as the mayor, arrive. It should always be clean. That's what we should be delivering. That's basic service delivery. Having a clean city is probably one of the most basic components of service delivery. But the one thing that I've noticed in my tenure as the executive mayor of this metro, and that you slowly come to understand, is that the accountability, and I think I touched on it last night, but didn't expand too much on it. If you go back 4 or 5 years in this municipality, for example, the same people that's employed today is the same people that were still that's still in the system 5 years ago. So how is it that we allow the city to look the way it does, the metro to look the way it does, and still have the same people in charge? We've had a very robust, and I don't want to expand on that because that's a totally off-the-record discussion. We had a very robust debate now in the holding room to discuss some of these elements. But all of this, the main thing about this MOU, it's all about, in the end, delivering to our communities what they deserve. And we talk about service delivery on its own, but there's a word in front of that. And the word in front of service delivery is basic service delivery. Just the basics. And the poor deserve at least the basics. These are the people. Yesterday I was in Helenvale. Helenvale is touted as probably the most violent suburb in this city, if not in South Africa. And when the councillor was called upon, because there was no electricity in the area, his excuse was one. He actually made 2 excuses. One, he said he's not an electrician. His second excuse he made was that it's a very violent community that. The community turned around and said, how come when it's election time then he can walk around in the same area without any security? That is why we cannot deliver basic services to our people. That is why we need to get to this level where we sign these kind of agreements. And I'm happy for it. Because, like I said last night, if I've got a document in my hand and the MEC is holding me accountable, I then take that same document and I take it to my city manager. I take it to my MMCs. And I ask them, why are you not doing the same? I must hold you accountable. That is why, like I said earlier in one of the discussions we had, these officials, and the MEC touched on it last night, these officials that come to work and hang their jackets over their chairs, and we all know about this, it's common practice. I don't know why the officials still do it. And they hang the jackets over the chairs and they come fetch their jacket at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock again in the afternoon. We need to hold them accountable. We know the two different pillars, the administrative and political. All we do as the politicians, the mayors and so forth, we provide the oversight. And if we don't provide proper oversight, effective oversight, that is when communities come to us and blame you or me as the executive mayor. And then we say, but I don't clean, I'm not an electrician, I'm not a this, I'm not a that. So let us take this engagement very, very, very seriously. I'm looking forward to the signing of this MOU. I spoke to the MEC last night again when he said in his speech about the RAS. We must still have our session in our city, in our metro. But I told him after the first 3 months, it's July, August, September, so this is going to be the first quarter that's done at the end of September. I want my metro to be assessed first. Because then I've got another 9 months. Whoever comes after me has got another 9 months to correct it. The same with, I don't know, I haven't been lectured on the RAS. But the same with internal audit. Internal audit should be giving us a report every 3 months, every quarter. And that's how you eventually get to a clean audit. Not only when the audit is done at the end of the year. These are the things that we need to do differently. It's 30 years. It's 30 years. Power is borrowed to us and the communities can take it back at any time. And if we have that mentality, that on a daily basis, we are being held accountable and we deliver services to the communities out there. And I'm talking about, I wish, and I'm sure some of you have visited our poorer areas who are out of town, our Motherwell, KwaZulu, the other day Kualanga, and you'll see the state of our metro. And hence, I want to implore, I so wish my city manager was here this morning, that we are aggressively going after officials who are not holding, because I'm not expecting, he's not an electrician either. His ED is probably not an electrician either. But hold everybody accountable. In that organogram, if one person messes up in the organogram, our city looks like this. But I want to welcome all of you to our beautiful city, Nelson Mandela Bay. And I hope this engagement, once again, as we're closing it today with the signing of this MOU, it bears the fruit that we wanted to. Thank you very much.
Can we give the Executive Mayor a beautiful round of applause? I hope by the time we sign the MOU, Executive Mayor, you'll be able to pronounce Koboshiane. And I think we'll make our style, we'll make our attempt to begin to take you some kind of crash course between now and the time that we sign. Thanks very much, Executive Mayor, for that. I this morning indicated that we had the chairs of the houses in our midst. We also have in our midst the SCOPA chair, who joined us this morning as well in the Eastern Cape province. Welcome, Chair. We just thought it's important that we must indicate that MPL Rense is with us as well. We'll now move to the next item on the program, just to get to know exactly who's here. Mr. Somana will give us the credentials on who is in attendance. Mr. Somana, can you please step forward?
Morning, everyone. Greetings to the Honorable MEC, members of the legislature present here, led by Chairperson of the committee responsible for public participation, Honorable Kobeshiane. We have provincial chairperson leading the members of the House and local houses, Unkosi Ukwazinamba. Greetings to the mayors and the executive mayors present, speakers and chief whips, acting HOD and municipal managers and all senior government officials present here. As HOD has said, I'm here to present and give an update on who we have invited for the event. We've sent invitations, MEC, to all municipalities in the Eastern Cape, of which you could see there's clearly a very good attendance from them. And we also invited the Eastern Cape House of Traditional Leaders and their local houses. We've also invited Salga, and like I've acknowledged before, we've also got chairperson of the Committee for Public Participation, Petitions and Education in the provincial legislature. In terms of attendance, KMEC, out of municipalities that we've invited, I'm going to go through them by district. For Alfrenzo, we've issued 25 invitations and we had 16 confirmations. Krisani district and local municipalities, we've issued 35 invitations for them as well, and we had 20 confirmations. At Okabi, we invited 20, and we received 17 confirmations. Ewar Tambo, we invited 25, and we received 30 confirmation. I'm not sure, okay, if 5 is for many invitations, you only confirm it. And then Sarah Padman, we also invited 30, and we received 17 confirmations. EPCM, we also invited 5, and we received 2 confirmations. In Nelson Mandela Metro, we invited 5, and we received 2 confirmations. And we've also got departmental officials that are here. We had 6 invitations, all for the Provincial House. We had 6 invitations, and we had 6 confirmations. In the Office of the MEC, we invited 3, now you have 4. In legislature, we invited 3, Safumana 3 confirmations. And Usalga, we invited 1, and we had 1 confirmation. And goes HOT.
Thanks very much, Mr. Somana. We must apologize that we forgot to, because it was number 2, ask you to come and join the team earlier on. And I've just realized now that the leadership in front had a chair that we had reserved for you, but we omitted, apologies for that, omitted to have you join the leadership in front. Let's allow you to come and join the leadership as well. Can we now get to the gist of why we're here? We did the intro at the beginning. In the remarks, the executive mayor has welcomed us to the beautiful cold city. I think the city becomes one of the important and useful guinea pigs for climate change. If you want to test how climate change actually operates, you must come and stay in the city here. Ms. Seuno, can I call on you to come and present to the leadership here the purpose of the launch, the rationale behind the launch, why it was considered necessary for us to begin to have this kind of MOU signed on this day.
Honorable MEC, honorable members of the provincial legislature, chairperson of the committee, Honorable Mlibo, also the chairperson of the SCOPA, Executive Nkosi Kwazinamba, executive mayors and mayors, speakers, chief whips, HOD, acting, municipal managers, and all the government officials that are present. Molweni Galensas. Molweni Galensas. MEC, this morning as I was boarding the bus to the SCZ in Kucha, I reminded Honorable Koboshian, Ubango 2013, when I was appointed as a director in the department, my appointment letter was signed by him. So ndifuna umkhumbuza ukuba ndisekulaa ndawo ayendishiye kuyo. Mhlawumbi funeka ebuyile azophinda asayine enye ileta. Qho ke ngoku xa ndimbona ndidla ngomncumela xa ndimbona phaa eMonti nakoo Pick n Pay nakoo Woolies. Yena ubulisa nje i-official akakhokhe ndiqonde ileta yami ine-signature yakho. Honorable members and honorable councillors, the purpose of, I've been asked by the department to come and indicate the purpose of the session. We are feeling as a department that public participation or citizen engagement, it has become more of a cornerstone, more of a pillar in the provision of public service, promotion of good governance, and democracy building in the country. Now, all spheres of government, all three of them, they ought to play a role in ensuring that citizen voices and concerns are heeded to. In the implementation of government programs, the voices of the citizens become important. And that is stipulated in the Constitution of the Republic and in other pieces of legislation that we found in government. Now, government in the past, through various intergovernmental platforms, attempted to ensure coherent implementation of programs and policies with limited successes. Hence, it becomes important for the voice of the people to be key in all our programs, in all our activities. In some instances, coordinating government efforts in program implementation has not happened optimally as it's supposed to happen, particularly in the area of public participation. There has been a gap that has been identified, and there is a dire need to bridge that gap. Also, again, the reason for that gap, it's largely due to the fact that provinces do not have or does not have a public participation strategy which articulates very clearly how public participation programs are implemented across all spheres of government. It has thus become necessary for the province to develop mechanisms, measures, ways, and make attempts to address the problem through establishment of a body of structure at a provincial level that will not only coordinate all the aspects of government public participation policies and programs, but also drives and be conscious in driving public participation agenda and giving strategic direction and uniformity and coherent drive in the matters. Therefore, the establishment of this structure, which is going to be established today, which is your Provincial Public Participation and Rapid Response Advisory Forum, is important, and we are here to do so. So, this establishment of the structure is not only viewed as an attempt to develop one-size-fits-all approach towards public participation. There is recognition that the province is not homogeneous, and that sector departments and municipalities may already have crafted their own public participation strategies and frameworks. Nonetheless, it becomes important for the center to hold. It becomes important to have a body that will coordinate all these activities and to have one vision and to have one direction as a province. We are therefore here today, ladies and gentlemen, to launch that forum and to give it a blessing and to ensure that as a department, as a sector department, as a province, working together, as a department that is given a key role to coordinate everyone, we establish that forum and we take matters of public participation to their optimal or to their maximum implementation. Therefore, we are launching that forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DDG. I think that there is no harm to clap again. To clap for the acting DDG in relation to the outlining of the objectives. Truth be told, we have had over the past number of years a challenge with regard to public participation in the local government space in the Eastern Cape Province. For the past number of years, we've done assessments in terms of how we are doing in relation to the engagements between ward councillors and their constituencies, or councillors in general and their constituencies, or MPLs and their constituencies. And we've actually picked up that there's a bit of a gap that is occasioned over the past number of years. The social distance that has developed over the past number of years has been of great concern. And as it was said yesterday by the MEC, that the time between now and the next elections is too short. We must close the gap and ensure that whatever that was missing for the past number of years does get attended to. We are here because we want to serve. We are here because we have been elected to become the principals of service delivery and ensure that our constituencies are not left behind. So that's the message, that's a message that is being communicated, and that's the kind of challenge we have as we have to navigate our way towards ensuring a closer bond between our communities and ourselves. I'm going to ask now the following speakers who are supposed to give us measures of support in relation to the launch as outlined by Mamosono. The first one is going to come from Nkosi Kwazinamba. The second one is going to come from our chair in the Eastern Cape Legislature, Honorable Koboshian. Nkosi Kwazinamba, over to you.
Mandi Tatel Tuba, MEC, the Bullies, Mshambi Mandiqale ngawe HOD, ndibulele wethu nondisusapha. You know, ungumntu inkosi safundiswa kakuhle Mtungwa okokuba xa umenywe emsithweni uhlala pha athomemileyo akubeke apha afuna ube khona. Injongo ke kukubaleka uba xa seluhlele endaweni ongamelanga bukuyo xa kuthiwa suka kuze umuntu apha ukhubeke. Now ndizamkuthi ke HOD ndiyabulela kakhulu. Mhlawumbi ndingangayichani lento yokubulisa wonke umuntu lwapha ngokwamakhabathiso endawo ababekwe kuzo. Kodwa yaneliswani ke Jola okokuba ubandibulise wena ngembeko kufaneleyo bonke abanye bawunqonqothela kulombeko. Egameni lendlu yenkosi silapha kuba enye yenjongo ikukuba sisoloko ngawo onke amaxesha sixhasa inkqubo zikarhulumente. Uyabona ke bendincokola nezankosi pha ndingekafikelelwa ilento yokuqonda uba kwenziwane apha kuba bekuphambi koba kuthethwe i-purpose of the day. ndibuza uba ngomphi lo masipala ebekade engenayo laa desika ka-public participation, uba ibikhona bekusenziwani ukuba ngaba namhlanje kungamhla esizawuqala ukuqonda into kokuba abemi boMzantsi Afrika bananxaxheba abamele ukuyidlala ekuphuhlisweni kwendawo abasuka kuzo. Mhlawumbi ke le nkosi uJezile uyandincedisa uthi hayi into ibikade ingekho yile ndawo ithi rapid response. Yabona ke I'm saying this MEC ngenjongo zokuthi eliphupha lihle kodwa kufuneka sinyaniseke kwinto ethi ingqina lomlebe ngumkhwa. Uyabona ke ukuze lonto ichaneke kufuneka sinyaniseke ekuqondeni okokuba bonke abantu aba ekubhekiswa kubo namhlanje akukho ufikayo kubo kudala bekwamamasipala. Now there are things endizaziyo okanye endikrokrela uba zingayimpehla kweli phupha. Omasipala bethu bagutyungelwe yinto engunobenani yokungafuni kunyamezelana kwee-councillors phangaphakathi. Ukuba ke aside sifike ekufundiseni ukuba oludushe lungaphakathi luzawuba nefuthe elibi ekwenziweni okanye ekumiselweni kwemiqathango enikiweyo ngurhulumente. Ndiyithethiswa ke le nto MEC yinto yokokuba nokuba namhlanje sizawuvana okokuba siyaqondana kodwa kukho into efuneka yenziwe ukulungiswa kwe-mindsets zaba bantu kufuneke eliphupha libe liphupha kubo. There are some municipalities around i-Eastern Cape andifuna uthi abaphi apho epasejini uSpeaker engenakwazi ukubulisana nomeya because basuka kwii-factions ezahlukeneyo. Once isimo sibe njalo kuzawuba ngamiswa le ingasebenzi kwawufika apho. I'm saying ke this ngenjongo zokokuba ukuba siyaphosa ukuthetha izinto ezokuqala ekuqaleni ukuze ke kuthiwe xa kubhekwe emsebenzini abantu aba babe behlambulule besiya ukuyokwenza umsebenzi ngamandla alinganayo. Nakulento MEC siyivuyelayo njengabantwana benkosi yokunikwa ithuba lokuvakalisa okanye lokudlala indima ekuphuhliso lendawo esihleli kuzo. Andikholelwa okokuba isendalweni yethu into yokukhweletelana nenkqubela phambili. Kodwa yinyani into yokokuba ukuba inkqubela phambili iyaphoswa kuthi ndiyinkosi yasemcunkcuzo. No way apha emcunkcuzo ndingabona kuqhuma ndingayazi into kokuba oluthululo lwani. Now that MEC ude wakwazi ijola ukuyiqaphela njengempehla into yokusebenza in silos, ndiyakuthembisa okokuba ukuba abantu abamele ukuthatha iphupha balenze inyaniso bayenza lonto ngobulali. Ezinye izinto namanye amava enjengala sigqithe kuwo angalibali lezolo. Ngalo mazwi ke ndifuna ukuthi egameni lendlu yenkosi sithi bambisanani ubunye ngamandla. Ilizwe lethu noba siyavana noba sivani. Ezinye izivubeko esinazo njengabantu ekuhlaleni sixutyulwe ngamazwi asekezelwe entiyweni nekratshe. Asikwazi ke ukuba nenkokheli ezambethe ezo zinto zombini. Apha ndiyanibona ke njengoba nina ndinibukele MEC xa nithetha lento ye-GNU niyancuma apha ebusweni njengento efanelekileyo. Thina bantu bachaphazelayo sihlunguzela intloko sithi sayenza imposiso yokuthatha abantu sibanike into esayisebenzelayo kwaphalala igazi. Namhlanje batefisana bafekethisana ngayo nasepasejini noba babuzana impilo uve kusithiwa noba yile GNU ubona uba ayibonwa eyona nto ilizothe kule nto. Ndiyafuna kukusebenza kwenu u-2026 akakudanga kakhulu. Injalo nje ubulele phezu kolwimi uyakothuka sokwaphula. Ndiyabulela.
Enkosi ya. Masimqhobeleni unkosi kwaZindawo please. Into emandi ke ngonkosi uMathanzima. Uyathethe lento ningarhaluyiva. Lento ikrakayo neniphatha kakubi. Into yaphaya kula family ke lanto. Unkosi kwaZindawo uyayazi into yasebukhosini ba xa ithetha izinto uthetha pho ningafuni banive khona. Ndicela ukwenza le acknowledgement izolo besi-announce into ba uSalga as one of our stakeholders was also invited to become part of this session yesterday and today. We agreed that we'll give them a slot to speak when they arrive. We've been informed again there is a speaker from Salga, who Councillor Mgaga is going to be able to represent Salga in this platform. I would request that Pamba ungene Honorable Koboshiane ungene Councillor Mgaga. Ngicela samkele yena eze ngaphambili azomela iSalga. Uthi ibani iqhwaba ngoyisezayo. Uthi ibani iqhwaba ade afike estage.
Ndiyamlungisa ke ndithi ndinguCouncillor uGaga GAGA. Ndayazi sinzima isiXhosa. U-MEC wethu uTata Williams, kwi-members ze-provincial legislature, Honorable Koboshiane phambi kwethu, no Honorable Ukeleku, u-Deputy Chairperson we-House of Traditions, uTata Mathanzima, ne-local houses o chairperson bakhona, o-mayor, o-executive mayor, o speaker, o chief whip, acting HOD, o MM, ne senior managers ezikhoyo apha kule mdibano namhlanje. Ndiyazibulisela nam namhlanje. Okwam ke kulula. Ndinomyalezo esiwuthunyelwa nguSalga kule ndibano ikhoyo today. We know ke ukuthi uSalga unemandate, a mandate and a role, and among those mandate and role is to support, advise, and capacitate members of municipality so that they can executive their mandate. And USALGA understands that the government sectors and government in general is called upon in the NDP Vision 2030 to make it easier for citizens, that is, hold the municipal officials and politicians accountable for the quality of services they receive. Also, 2030 Vision, where NDP tells us that we must harness the energy and experience of citizens who are best placed to advise on the standard of public services in our communities and suggest any interventions. Also, it talks about us promoting active citizenry and social activism, which is necessary for democracy and development to flourish. We all know that local government is seen in many countries as a key institution for the enhancement of democracy and as a vehicle for its development. So is South Africa local government? Are you an exception to that? So our municipalities, they do have a clear constitutional obligation, which is to promote democracy and accountable government for local communities and to ensure a provision of services to communities, where we talk about promoting social and economic development, safety and healthy, and to encourage involvement in communities zethu kwi-roles esifuneka siziplayile singomasipala bethu nohulumende lwethu. Siyabona ke lento ye-public participation iyaconfirmwa nakwi-Municipal Systems Act, because kuyo siyazi ukuthi uSALGA uyazi ukuthi namalungu akhe uSection 2 we-Systems Act uyaconfirma that communities as part and parcel of municipalities. Also, we are confirming Systems Act that we must address the rights of and duties of members of local communities. Also, this section iyasixelela that we must devote ourselves to community participation. It also talks about us involvement in communities with development, implementation, and review of the municipality's performance management system, so that sidile nento ye consequence management xa izinto zingenzeki komasipala bethu. Also, as a reality is that nangona kunjalo abantu ba busy bokuhlala. People are very busy. They are unable to attend the government conduct meeting with their elected leaders, but they still want to be involved in matters of their government and of their municipalities in particular. Uthi ke uSALGA, i-constitution iyasivumela ukuthi senze izinto right, constitutionally and legislatively zikhona provision. So we need to be heeded by both the political and administrative leadership in municipalities, and this includes all other key role players involved in the municipality, inclusive of governance processes. uSALGA ke uthi uyayisupporta this launch of this great initiative, and that will cement a positive shift and enhancement of inclusivity, governance, public participation, ne-active citizenry. Iyabulela uSALGA ukuba part of this today, because ifuna ukuba ibone xa kusayinwa nyani nokuconfirma ukuthi izinto ziyajika. Thank you.
Thanks very much, my councillor, Councillor Kaka. Masimkhawuleni uCouncillor Kaka. Ngoku sawucela i-legislature uchairperson we-committee uMtungwa iza ngaphambili Mtungwa.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Mandizibulisele kuwe mphathiswa wesebe. Sibulele le nxaxheba Jolinkomo yokokuba sibe khona buqu sizozibonela sizawungqina sesithethe sikwaziyo sikwazi ungqina kakuhle kweliphondo. Sekela sihlalo wendlu yenkosi Mthembu Masondwa Sintshaba singazi kwenza nto nesigqeba sonke se-local houses esikhoyo apha phakathi kwethu. Honorable members of the provincial legislature, the whip of the committee of Triple P and E, as well as the chairperson of our SCOPA, and welcome back from Zimbabwe. I received an information that you represented this province very well. Thank you very much, Kokeli yethu. The honorable executive mayors and the mayors, honorable speakers and the chief whips that are present here, leadership of SALGA, the HOD, and the senior executives were also accompanied by our general manager, honorable MEC responsible for Triple P and E, Ubawo Mpangazita, Olapa phakathi kwethu, members of the Fourth Estate, media, and all that, those that are listening to this important session. Ours is to extend our hand of solidarity for the success of this program. I understand, honorable leadership, that theoretical frame is now in existence, but we are here to mold the pragmatic content about the essence of public participation and Rapid Response Advisory Council. Kule nyanga ke yamafa namagugu, inyanga yentaba, inyanga yamanzi, inyanga yetyiwa, inyanga yobutyebi bethu, inyanga yendyebo ukuziqhayisa nozithemba. Asinasizathu xa ndijonge kule ndlu ingathi siyazalana ngegazi nangolusu. Kuyanyanzeleka xa sifika kwindawo elohlobo singonqenani into kokuba le public participation mayiphumelele ngenxa yoba siyazazi apho sisuka khona. This is the only leadership that carries Msud to the aspirations of the citizens of Eastern Cape, therefore an apex team to regulate our social stability, keeping our code of bylaws. We felt directly indebted with the presence of this team in front of us in our homes and households, as the only sphere of government that correspond true statements and itemized billing with the ratepayers that we receive each and every 30 days. Thetha ukuthi public participation ayongxoxo nje uba silapha siyaqhuba nomasipala mihla le siva ngabo uba si-owisha ntoni. Nomuntu ofuna uvula ibhanki, this is the only critical component of our society esiqiniseka ngayo, and therefore you kept the citizen captivated by creating means for us to reach our homes through access roads, internal streets and bridges, chlorinated clean and drinkable water, kilowatts of electricity, and most of all, graves provision at the end of our call of duty when mission is accomplished. Into ethetha uba si-institution esingena ngayo kweli phakade, sibe i-institution esiprovidela namangcwaba sakubhubha. Masiziqhwabeleni izandla kule nto andikayiboni esinye isifiye esinamandla osinika nendawo zophumla sesingasathethi. And you are therefore so much important. And you clothe those that are in need. At times you provide shelter to victims of disasters. Your work is cut out as you comfort the vulnerable at times and create conducive environment for business to thrive, provide space for retail and industry, and such is a privilege we are honored to serve. But at times you're seldomly thanked and instead insults embossed as a badge of honor. Nithukela ukuhleka, nithukela nokulila, nithukela nokuthuthuzela abanye, nithukela nokunika abantu izindlu abangenazo, nokuvula amathuba into kokuba investors zibe khona nezonyeliso. Kodwa namhlanje in this public participation, I think we must stand here without doubt and shadow of any hesitation. Into yoba ningadinwa, kunjalo ke ukukhokhelwa. It is never a bed of roses. Therefore, this invitation is a call, Honorable MEC, for consciousness, strengthening formal and informal organs of civil society and civil power. Participation is the centerpiece and only pillar at our disposal to strengthen collaboration and coexistence. We engineered the post-apartheid architecture and remodeled a society where freedom and hope reign supreme. We established completely different policy choices and democratic foundations of local state. We revoked citizens' reawakening energy, pillared on the community activism and citizens' participation, not only in choosing public representatives in a ward-based system, but shaping laws that are affecting the citizens themselves. Therefore, we gathered this morning here, honorable leadership, to mark the momentous milestone in recognizing the dedication, commitment, and unwavering service of individuals who have tirelessly contributed to the growth, prosperity of society through public participation and rapid response. And as we gathered here today, to mark not just as a passing of time, but the invaluable contribution that each and every one of you sitting here have made the fabric of human development and community endeavors and people-centered trajectory. Your steadfast commitment as leadership of local government and loyalty have been the cornerstone upon which our successes have been built. It is only fitting, therefore, on behalf of the legislature, that we come together to express our deepest gratitude through this launch and establishment of Municipal Public Participation and Rapid Response Advisory Forum under the theme, and I quote, an effort to strengthen participatory democracy. And therefore today reaffirm our noble supreme respect of citizens, mandate givers, and your enduring service. And I just want to say, go forward, don't rest, my comrades. Your steadfast commitment, unwavering loyalty, and have an aspiration for us all, not only to lead local government, but your resilience in the face of challenges and your dedication to collective goals have laid the foundation of 30 years for which we are here to also mark for our continued success in this sector. And therefore this launch must exhibit our solemn pledge. Indoba sikhongani kule ndawo. And I want just to say before I sit down, Honorable MEC, the aim therefore of the Intergovernmental Relations Framework Act 13 of 2005 is to establish a framework for the national government, provincial government, and local government to promote, facilitate intergovernmental relations, to provide for mechanisms and procedures to facilitate settlement of intergovernmental disputes, and to provide for matters connected therewith. And effective intergovernmental relations, therefore, our members, can lead to a better policy making and implementation, improve coordination between different levels of government, and more efficient use of our own resources. The launch of this forum is an essential intervention in building South Africa's democracy as it promotes dialogue between the governed and the governors. It is through informed engagement like these, where different views are brought to compete, that we can build a strong democracy envisaging our own constitution. Therefore, public participation is defined as an open, accountable process through which individuals and groups within selected communities can exchange views and influence the decision-making. It is through active public participation that evidence-based policy-making, responsive service delivery can take place, core ingredients of effective public participation. Therefore, the principle of public participation holds that affected by any decision have a right to be involved in the decision-making process. What a noble idea. Public participation includes the assurance that the public's contribution will influence the decision. It promotes sustainable decision by recognizing and communicating the needs and the interests of all participants, including decision makers themselves. It both seeks to facilitate the involvement of those potentially affected or by interested in the decision, and seeks participants' input in designing how they will participate. Therefore, each municipality must design a mechanism to ensure how we are going to design of how the public must participate and provide participants with the information they need to participate in a meaningful way. And finally, it provides the feedback to participants on how their inputs are affected by the decision. The benefits of this, Honorable MEC, stakeholder engagement for government to reassure communities that are on top of issues and in some cases are essential for solving their problems, identifies cutting-edge issues relating to service delivery and governance matters, identify opportunities, obstacles, strengths and weaknesses that have direct implication for functioning government programs and assess the needs of communities as well as government projects of any support that may be available or needed, and ensure that the government politicians and government officials understand the environment on its totality and gain insights into full complexities and promote public education on pertinent issues related to governance. I think, Honorable MEC, on that note, we also want to avail ourselves in this particular program because we've got a very strong component of public participation in the legislature. As I indicated, it as a level of a general manager and the executive manager, which reports straight to the committee designed, which I have a privilege to chair, dealing with public participation, petitions, as well as education. That would therefore means in our own agreement and memorandum of understanding leadership between us and SALGA, we want to avail those resources to give more meaningful support to municipalities, to capacitate and empower in order to ensure how this program of public participation must be advanced to the next level. Singahlali pha eParliament nani nothuke sekuthiwa nansi ikomiti iyaqhuba endaweni ethile and the municipality is not even aware. And when we arrive at a determination and solution, it is an isolated matter that the council is not aware. Therefore, it is quite imperative that I must, in the context of the above constitutional imperatives, Honorable MEC, that the department must also view the institutions of traditional leadership as a launch pad or launching pad for public participation programs and activities. It must strive to ensure that public participation is accessible, impartial, transparent, consistent, efficient and accountable, fair and timely. Kwakubakho ingxaki, masingade silinde ithumba lidubule. Makubekho indlela yolithoba silicudise ukwenzela uba nomuntu ebese ifuna udlondlobala lulonwabo lengxaki angakwazi into kokuba anyumbazeke nangefolokhwe. Sazi uba into esizenzayo sizenza ngolulangazelelo, ngokuhloniphana, ngentembeko nangentobeko. Azathi nomuntu ebecinga uba sozisolveke ukwenzela uba abe yinkokheli when the dike is exploding. Ayazi uba umcimbi siyasakwazi ukulungisa usavela. Sifuna ukuthi ke egameni lendlu yowisomthetho noqingqo sifuna ukuzinikezela ekusebenzisaneni, ekubambisaneni nasekuqiniseni uzakuzelwano phakathi kwethu izindlu zenkosi, omasipala ne-local houses. Sithi xa singena esixekweni siyowenza lo msebenzi siwenze ngendili nangesonto yokubambisana. Sithi xa sithetha sivane, sinikana amathuba, sinikana nembeko kulo msebenzi. I therefore wish to extend our profound appreciation for this good start. Sithi xa siye emaphethelweni ale term, nabazawungena emva kwale cohort bafike babona uba bekukho amadoda, bekukho mama, bekukho sisi ebebewenza lo msebenzi yayi-foundation. And when they come, they must bow in reverence. Bathi apha akumkanga nje abantu ebebezokwenza izinto zobutshinga nobuqhinga nobuqhetseba, kodwa kumke abantu bokwenyani abenze izinto zabonakala sebengasekho. And when we live, we must not leave vacuums, but we must leave legacies. And I want to say on behalf of this delegation, thank you very much for the opportunity. Our input will be shared with the delegates here, but ours was just to say we congratulate this event. Enkosi kakhulu, Mpexesi wenkulu.
As he takes his seat, can we give him a round of applause again, please? That was the chairperson of the Public Participation, Petitions, Education Portfolio Committee in the legislature in the Eastern Cape Province. Now, understand it's public participation and education in the legislature. It's a very loaded and pregnant kind of portfolio committee that Honorable Mlebo is leading. Mr. Ngam, can you please come forward? I want Mr. Ngam to come and outline, before the MEC takes the stage, to come and outline the signatory process or the signature process or signing process that will be following in the order as outlined by, as prepared by the team.
Enkosi Mphathi Msebenzi, acting HOD for COGTA. to the MEC for Kokta, Deputy Chairperson of the Eastern Cape House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, MPL Koboshiane, Executive Mayors, Municipal Managers, Senior Government Officials, colleagues. Umsebenzi wami mncinci kakhulu, ndicela nindivumele bapha ndithi inkosi mazithambe, isicaka sivumile. Esizama ukukwenza apha party sebe kukuzama ukuqinisekisa into yokuba apha inkokheli zethu uMEC kaKokta no acting HOD wethu kunye no executive mayor wase Nelson Mandela Bay Metro kunye no MM wakhe bazawuthi batyikitye oluxwebhu lamaxwebhu mabini ndiwaphetheyo ngenjongo zokumilisela le ndibano sinayo namhlanje. Kubalulekile ke mphathi msebenzi into yokuba apha phambi koba babe kanti bayatyikitya bayayazi into apha yintoni na le nto siyityikityayo bayityikityayo. Ndicela ke umphathi msebenzi ngemvume yakhe andivumele ndithathe nje imizuzu bembalwa ndifunde umzekelo eyokuqala i-certificate of commitment and pledge. Ehamba ngolu hlobo, Provincial Public Participation and Rapid Response Advisory Forum, Certificate of Commitment and Pledge. The purpose of executing this MOU is to establish an Eastern Cape Provincial Public Participation and Rapid Response Advisory Forum, whose mandate is to, 1, formalize working relations amongst the parties, forge and strengthen working relations amongst the parties to promote reporting, accountability, and good governance in the province. Define the framework and areas of collaboration, cooperation, and mutual support for parties. Establish uniform norms and standards for collaboration. Share best practices and experiences on common mandates and collaborative programs of parties. Establish common framework for reporting, public participation, and petitions management. Enhance and improve public education. To lobby and advocate for the capacitation of public participation and petitions management functions as provided for in the Constitution. We are trying to ensure that we deepen participatory democracy as enshrined in the Constitution. That was about the advisory forum. Now the second paper that, or pledge and commitment to be signed, it's in relation to the Community Development Worker Program, CDWP, Certificate of Commitment and Pledge. The Community Development Worker Program is an integral part of government's access strategy designed for the purpose of accelerating service delivery by taking government services to communities, particularly marginalized communities. The municipalities may utilize CDWs which are placed at their disposal by the provincial government as part of cooperative governance. Community development workers are supported by the provincial government in terms of Public Service Act and the regulations which are promulgated thereunder, necessitating the Provincial Department of Kokta to play an oversight role in respect of inter alia performance management, discipline. The main objectives and emphasis of the CDW program include: 1, improving service delivery and accessibility, improving intergovernmental coordination and cooperation, improving interaction between government and community, improving participatory democracy. The objective of this memorandum of understanding is to strengthen cooperative governance between Kokta and the municipalities. This MOU, therefore, constitutes a contract which sets out the roles, responsibilities, and obligations of the department and the municipalities to achieve the objectives of the CDW program. As ITSEND program director, the procedure that we have agreed on is that we request the Honorable MEC for Kokta, Your Worship, the Executive Mayor of the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro, and the acting HOD for Kokta and the municipal manager of the Metro as well, to descend downstairs and go to that table. We've got 3 chairs there, as well as 3 pens so that they begin to attach their signatures on these commitments and pledge. Thereafter, the MEC will take the stage and render his words of encouragement for the day. That's about it, HOD. Cheers.
Hayi Fako andizuthetha izinto ezirong. Ingxaki niyandicunukisa Faka. Sanondicunukisa. Namhlanje ndizawuthetha kamandi kukho aba bantu basemzini. Noko nobukhosi buye bathetha nami zo. Bathi nobucunukile mntwana enkosi. Noko yenza usiza nganeno. Yeah, the program director, the acting HOD of our department, and Executive Mayor, His Worship, Mr. Gary van Niekerk of the Nelson Mandela Metro. He is sharing this jurisdiction with His Worship, the Mayor of Sarah Baartman, District Municipality, Executive Mayor DeVos, the Speaker of the Metro, Chairperson of our SCOPA, the Honorable Mlibo Koboshiane, the Deputy Chairperson of the House of Traditional Leaders, Utata Ukwazinamba, the Chairperson of our Public Accounts Committee, Mrs. Aramse. She's there, she's watching that we're using public funds efficiently and effectively. And I'm going to account if it has been found that we do not follow all the processes. Sis Charity. In having this good initiative. The representative of SALGA, PEC, the chairpersons of houses, of local houses of traditional leaders. I have seen two of them, Uchawe Noba Uchopo, one from Amatole and the other one from Krisani district. The whip of the Portfolio Committee on Public Accounts, Umis Keleku. Speakers of all our district and local municipalities, DDGs and all the municipal managers present here today, distinguished guests, various media houses, and everyone present. Greetings this morning. The people shall govern. This is one of the critical and cardinal points of the historic document called the Freedom Charter. And our forefathers took that document and transferred it into the 1996 Constitution. And from the Constitution, the white paper of local government came with a new concept for local government, which was called developmental local government. And if we look at the definition of developmental local government, it means local government working together with the people to deliver services. Now, sometimes we fail to understand what service delivery means. And service delivery is defined as the sum total of all policies of government aimed at providing basic services to communities. This launch is not just an event. It represents a renewed commitment to deepening democracy by ensuring that our people's lives are central in governance. As we work together to strengthen public participation in governance, it is also vital that we build on the important relationship between government and our traditional leaders. Traditional leaders have always played a crucial role in the lives of our communities, especially rural communities. And their wisdom and guidance must be integrated into our systems of governance. And therefore, this advisory forum seeks to bridge the gap, ensuring that all leaders, both elected and traditional leaders, work together to service our people. Public participation, it has been said by my colleagues, is the cornerstone of good governance. As enshrined in the Constitution, municipalities are obliged to involve communities and community organizations in all manner and matters affecting them. This participation is not merely a formality. It is a genuine process of engaging the public, responding to their needs, and ensuring they shape the policies that affect their lives. And if we could stand there a little bit and say, in local government, how do we ensure that the constitutional imperative, the historic document of the people shall govern, the white paper for local government, how do we ensure the realization of these three critical documents that are intended to foreground the people at the center of the governance process of municipalities? Maybe we need to indicate just a few instances where the people must be allowed to govern. And we must be deliberate in our intentions to ensure that they govern. when we do our IDP processes, our 5-year plans, the communities must participate in that process. When budgets are approved, including the tariffs, our people must participate in that process. I am responding to Parliament to a number of questions about municipalities, where communities are saying some municipalities in the province do not give us chance to govern as enshrined in the Constitution. They would argue that the rates and taxes that they must be paying to municipalities, they've submitted objections, and those objections have not been responded to. Now, how do I respond to these questions when my colleagues in municipalities should be having the same understanding from the Freedom Charter to the Constitution, to the White Paper, to the systems and structures? We should all be in the same wavelength in terms of what should happen to serve our people, and that they should be part of our governance processes. Now, we are launching today public participation and rapid response advisory team. As I'm speaking to you, whilst all of us agree that we are engaging in public participation, but the trust deficit, instead of reducing in local government, it is increasing. So people do not trust us. Not only local government, provincial, national. We've got a trust deficit. If they were governing, why should they not trust us? Now, we're very good in coming up with concepts that are very attractive. Previously, we had war rooms. Those war rooms were intended to act with maximum speed as if there's war. But instead of being war rooms, I don't know what they became. There was no war. War of ensuring government delivers services. Bingekho imfazwe pha. Xa sinobuchule bokuza ne-concepts. War rooms. Niyazikhumbula mos war rooms. There was no war there. Now we're saying today, we're launching public participation and rapid response. You know, something that is rapid. Ayifani nezanto bendithetha ngazo izolo. Something rapid, it means once there's a trigger, it acts immediately. Into rapid ke le into ekhawulezayo. Now, if we're saying rapid response, it means municipalities, when it comes to ensuring that the people are governing, and the people are served. Once there's a complaint, it means from the municipal manager downwards, from the mayor to the last councillor, we must act faster to respond to the communities. Then we'll be realizing what we're launching here today. But if we continue to misgovern, does nobody understand the concept of misgoverning? Where municipal finances are like a private personal bank account. It's a true story, it's not a fiction. The bank account of the municipality is like, it's a personalized bank account. And there's a rise of degeneration of values and ethics. And as we serve our people, there are projects that have become nemesis that we must respond to. Incomplete infrastructure projects. Now, if we want to increase the public perception, it means we must work hard to ensure that whatever we're doing, there's integrity. Integrity is that feeling that even if there's nobody, do the right thing. Even if there's nobody that sees you, do the right thing, because you have integrity. Nkosi Ugwazinamba is raising a very serious issue of political instability. Akusafunekanga noba siphazame ngokumuntu anyathele nje omnye apha emsebenzini ngemistake nje elolo hlobo indlela epronouncwa ngayo i-misunderstandings to the extent of affecting even the functionality of the municipality. And that time our people are expecting services. And as we launch this forum, we are affirming our commitment to cooperative governance as outlined in Chapter 3 of the Constitution. This is about creating a seamless relationship between all spheres of government to improve service delivery and enhance public trust in the democratic processes. One of the critical aims of this forum is to build a coherent, unified government that responds to the needs of our people with urgency. For too long, public participation processes have been fragmented and ineffective. This forum must address that gap by promoting better coordination and indeed faster responses to communities. The public perception on infrastructure, which was done in May of this year, is indicating an increase a decrease from 48% to 42% of public distrust to municipalities for providing basic services. Now, this perception says at least 6% has changed how they view us as municipalities in terms of providing basic services. But there's still 42% that says, ayikho le nto bayenzayo. And if we can be closer to the communities and communicate with them, because where we fail, colleagues, is public participation is about communication. Thina bantu ingathi bayasidika xa kufuneka sibaxelele uba amanzi akazubakho namhlanje. We don't do that. The manner we post personal pictures in our Facebook pages is more than the manner we post challenges of service delivery in our municipalities. I can say, ubabalwa makanijonge nonke i-Facebook pages zenu, ajonge your personal Facebook page. How many times has the mayor posted that there will be no water today, so that her followers or his followers immediately know that there won't be water today because we're maintaining, or refuse is not going to be collected because the truck is being repaired and we're going, please don't take us out rubbish from your house. Don't take it out because there's no truck. See, we are more a conscious society. Nathi si conscious ngamadoda ngokakhulu. Nenkosi zi conscious ziyafota-fotana. I'm not saying don't be conscious, but I'm saying your followers and your community would know immediately when there's a problem in the municipality. Use that facility to put everything, including yourself, but also challenges that you face in service delivery. That's how you terminate riots and strike actions in your municipality. Because people know, even anyone who wants to take into political instability in your municipality, he will be stopped by the community because they will say, the mayor has sent us this. There will be no water, we know. But currently, siyayoyika le nto ye-communication as it relates to promptness. And public participation is actually about us being able to communicate better with our communities. As I'm concluding, we must commit to ensuring that this forum is not just another initiative. Yabona ngoku sesinempandla thina zi-initiatives ka-local government. Lots of initiatives. Siyenza manje, Project Consolidate, Back to Basics. The HOD will talk about a manner of programs that we have agreed on. But all of them fail because we don't take it serious that they must be implemented with vigorous so that our people can feel that we are present. Our communities are really, really tired of waiting for us. The social distance is bothering us. Qha ingxaki siyazikhumsha ezi zinto. Ukungayi ebantwini sizinkokeli kuyasixhalabisa. And ukungayi ebantwini Bafike banixele pha kuthi xa sifikayo pha. Uyabona siseJoe Gqabi 30 to the 2nd siseJoe Gqabi naseChris Hani. Uyabona Mahlahlana noMsuthu noMawawa noZonke noKoni and everyone noMphoselwa noVania no Litiba no Veg. Uba nithethi nabantu bazosixelela. They're going to tell us. If councillors, your ward councillors are not going to the people are going to tell us. Unfortunately, we don't want to hear that. We want the people to say, the mayor was here, the councillor was here, things are happening in our municipality. Ndiyamazi ke uGqarha xa benengxaki abantu ude afuna uwenza ngokwakhe umsebenzi funeka ndimnqande uba yima Gqarha sufuna uwenza ngokwakhe umsebenzi. Technical services nyuke epalini ulungisa umbane mhlekazi umntakwethu ungakulinga umenza uba makafuna unyuka ngokwakhe epalini. That's the passion, that's what we want. I've seen mayors that are on the ground having various programs of meeting with the people. Nkosi yami eyona nto siyifunayo leyo. That's what we want, colleagues. We want to see mayors that have got programs that are launching projects. Kubhizi kuqhuma uthuli everywhere. And people know about the projects. Then asizube sikufuneka siyobopha amabande kwaba masipala because our mayors, our councillors, our speakers will be on the ball doing the right thing. Where the people are, they are there. The public participation is just about that. Now, niyena nconywa ke abameya besikubo no deputy minister. Last week besiseChris Hani naseMathole. Nanconywa uba you seem to be knowing what is happening in your municipalities. Especially on service delivery. Ume ungazi uba kwenzeka ntoni meyamngenela kumasipala wakhe nge-service delivery. Abantu bazothetha ngaye. But sibona nje xa esiqhumisela ngothuli ngemoto yakhe gqitha akakazosimamela uba yintoni ingxaki yethu. You know, colleagues, people, just by listening to them, ungazuyisolva namhlanje problem yabo, they appreciate that from their leadership. Sibabaleka ntoni abantu? Why are we running away from the people? So this forum must really work hard to ensure that we resolve the problems that our people are facing. It is up to us as leaders to meet the expectations of our people. Dr. A.B. Quma, as I sit down, says, leadership is a service. Not domination over others. True and genuine leaders serve the cause of the people and do not expect the cause of the people to serve them. Yabona ezidolophi zimdaka ungena nje edolophini ufana nomzi ongena mama ungena nje apha eyadini ukhokhelwa zimbiza ngaphandle awukangeni ngaphakathi sezilapha phandle usaya emnyango bubutyobo xa ungena ngaphakathi. So is your towns. Now xa usuka apha eMonti sodolophu uzuke ujonge le yakho ke ngoku itown uba injani le dolophu yam as I enter into it. Because once you start doing that, you'll realize that you must do that much more. Ingxaki endiyibonayo apha kuni zezisuti. Naba municipal manager, yo ziyanxitywa isuti. Nehempe ezinamaqhina amahle. Into yaziwayo yi-office qha. Akekho municipal manager oke athi lo wam umasipala andenzi into namhlanje ndijonga nje service delivery. No one apha kwaba balapha. Akekho. Zii-paper pushers bangene ofisini basayine documents qha. Technical managers are wearing suits today. How can a technical manager be in a suit kyopo for 365 days unxiba isuit uzawafixa nini amanzi? He's office bound to manage amaphepha qha ne-projects uzijonga kwezi zinto zilayitileyo ezi. And usodolophu naye uhappy ngaloo nto uba u-MM wakhe unxiba kakuhle ezisuti ntontoni. Uhappy uba unit lo mfo unit ufaka ne-cufflinks abe mhle u-MM. Nkqi kuyojonga umasipala wakhe. Umdaka lo masipala lo MM lo yena kanye. Xa eza apha emasipaleni uhamba phezu kwesuwa naye uhamba phezu kwamanzi agqabhukileyo. La maphepha amdaka ugqitha kuwo. Kanti u-MM wokwenyani uthi neta gqithe emanzini amisa imoto. Afowuni athi ye-technical manager. La manzi ndiwagqithe apha iintsuku ezimbini ndiwagqithe ngabom first day. Ndifuna ubona uba nizawa-athenda na. Uyabona ngoku akaka-athendwa la manzi. So somebody must be charged because this is clean treated water. This is money to the municipality. Anithi ke la madoda. Ayaziwa lento ye-management by walkabout. All of them ngoku ungayobajonga nabo bakhona o-MM. Abanye ndandisebenza nabo. Anithi la madoda akayi elokishini. In fact, akawazi nemagama ezitrato zala lokishi angu-MM wayo. Kawazi. How do you expect these people to serve this community? Now, it means abekho passionate ngabantu abasuke nje esikolweni bazofika bahlala apha bamkela abayithandi lento bayenzayo. Because u-CEO wase-Mercedes-Benz okanye apha eBake apho besuka khona Bake u-CEO wapha uyaziwa uba every Wednesday the CEO is on a walkabout. He's checking the company, he's checking the employees. He's just checking everything in his company. Abuza abasebenzi kutheni laa nto isenzeka ngolu hlobo kutheni leya kutheni iphi le voice ibuzayo. Xa upremier ethumela imessage uba kuyamoshwa kulo masipala abantu bakhala ngamanzi u-MM wothuka njengomeya. Uyothuka u-MM yo kweyiphi indawo yeyiphi loo ndawo sodolophu akawazi umasipala wakhe. It's a crisis, colleagues. Mhlamba must have a program ke ndiyothatha through aba MM uba ubu MM benzwa njani. Zawunxiba overall ndithi phuma esutini mhlekazi kawunxiba overall. Sihambe lo masipala wakho ubone nezinto ongazaziyo. Because without the MM doing that and being known to be doing that, now we will always complain that things are not happening in municipalities. It's because the leadership is in offices. And usodolopo right, uyayazi into yobana MM ugqibele nini elokishini ethile. Ndifuna ukuze ungangeni uyeva MM uzukuye kula lokishi ujonge yonke into erongo pha ubuye uzondinika ireport ene pictures. Anikwazi udyuta bosodolophu. Nithule gqithi. Nikwazi udyuta, you can't jute, Mayor Seyfers. Rangwana must know. Rangwana must go there to the community and know the people of the Beyers Nodia. The MM must know even the people that is serving by name. How do you serve consumers where you do not know anything about them, how they live? U-MM ngumntu onochuku yer la madoda nabamama abanachukutu ngabantu abarayithi aba. U-MM unochuku uthe ngena edolophini yakhe ebusuku ajonge i-street lights, are they working? Yabona ngu-MM lowo man. Ajonge i-street lights ziyasebenza. Ehamba nje ujonge i-street lights ufuna uqala uchuku qha ufuna ubuza umbuzo. Yabona ke ongabuza imibuzo MM ubomazi buyamosha. Woyika ubuza umbuzo ngoba uhamba ngecala naye pha emasipaleni. Na abasebenzi bathi awuzuthi zihambe straight kanti uhamba ngecala. Mandiyeke indaba zabantu. Nosodolophu. Usodolophu sisimumu esingakwazi ukuthi hayi MM uyamosha. Atu MM ukhaya pha kuwe athi hayi sodolophu nawe uhamba ngecala so unonkala kanawuthi abantwana hambani straight kanti uhamba ngecala. So umeya uyazive unayo le pressure, he understands the pressure but uyaqonda uba hey andikwazi ukuthi makathi straighten up because uhamba ngecala mayamngenela. Wama ngecala usodolophu. Iza kwenzeka kanjani public participation xa kunjani? Because kukhandubela apha kukwathi ndubela kwimix akekho umuntu oyazi uba makuthweni. Now we need to straighten up local government to understand what is it that must happen. And once we do that, our people will begin to appreciate the efforts that we're making to ensure that services are delivered to them. Once more, let me thank the House of Traditional Leaders, the legislature, all mayors for gracing this important occasion. Indeed, mna ndidipende kuni for the system to work. I can't do this thing. I can't. I just can't. I'm fully dependent on the political leadership, traditional leaders, to help me push this thing forward. I said yesterday, we've started with this push. Yabona was deliberate. We deliberately did not launch the risk-adjusted strategy because izinto ezilontshayo zifela kulaa ndawo. That andizuyilontsha le nto qha ndizawubaleka ngespiti and andizuthandisa mntu. Sabaleka ngespiti sibheke phambili sityhale andizuthandisa mntu ubugxarha uhambe emva ndithi gxarha ndikufuna phambili mhlekazi suhambele emva ndifuna phambili ndifuna wonke umuntu phambili. Now mayors are beginning to appreciate. Uyabona ngoku in the province I'm seeing mayor usegroundini ulaunch project Umeya ungapha uyabona belontsha iproject ibonile iproject eJamestown ebelontsha amanzi umphosela ugxaka belontsha indlela umsuthu ebelontsha bonke ndiyababona ba uyabona ngoku. Then the system has captured and understood what we want to happen, and people are beginning to realize that's why there's that 6% drop. So if we do that every year, then our people will be very much appreciative of our efforts. So we really need the system to work. And municipal managers, we train them on RAS. Myself, I train municipal managers to understand this RAS thing. I was there. I've trained mayors, they understand what RAS is. Because in Dwesifunai, for the first time, colleagues, historically in the Eastern Cape, no municipality submitted land okuthiwa rollover application. Niyandiva, colleagues? No one submitted rollover application in the Eastern Cape. Scopa Chair, I hope you are listening. No one submitted rollover application. And now, National Treasury, because they are used to taking something from our province. So, so what they do, they say, hey, we can't get anything from this province now. Because money has been spent. Now they look, oh, let's go to OR Tambo. When they get to OR Tambo, I am telling them, we have spent the money. They want to take money away from OR Tambo district. But I'm there, I'm saying you can't take any cent here. We have spent the money. Nifuna ntoni? La 40%, but masima achieve, si achieve 60% thina ngo-December. And I'm saying, colleagues, the system is beginning to work. Masi improve ke ngoku in non-negotiables. Non-negotiables about service delivery, water leaks, water losses, electricity losses, everything. The management of recruitment processes. The petty case ngoku up. Kamandi inkundla ngoku engathi zizasondela epokothweni. Zisondele epokothweni inkundla. Hayi xa zisondele epokothweni inkundla. Andizunixelela uba eyaphi le case. Qha ndithanda uba inkundla zisondele epokothweni. Inkundla zisondele epokothweni. Uyabona? Ithi lento. I-respondents zale case ngumeya, ngu-municipal manager, ngu-speaker, ngumasipala yena buqu. Ne? Nam ndifakiwe. Ne? Ndifuna niyithathe serious ngoba ndinqumile. Mamela ke ndithe respondents zona sibaninzi abafakiwe pa si-7. Si-8 no minister ufakiwe. Mamela ke apha endichaza khona lento ikhetha iphele emasini. Ithi the first to the fourth respondents shall pay the cost of the application jointly and severally. The one paying the other to be absolved. Amen. Yabona xa itsho njalo ke ngoku nam mna iyandikhetha ndingunumber 5 ithi iyandikhetha inkundla ithi lo mntana kaMagcaleka akenzanga nto. Makayeka umntana kaMagcaleka akenzanga nto. Ikhethe 1 2 3 4 ivale. Mna ndilapha njengaphansi. Ithi ke ngoku mababhatale. Na umsebenzi wami kuyogada uba imalini etshajwayo and ingxaki ke ngoku amagqwetha mos xa eza kusebenza iba ngu-senior council abe ne-junior council. Xa egqiba ke ngoku kuthiwa ii-costs zithi ndijonge ndithi ndiyafuna umeya ekameya imali mayibekwe ecaleni madoda azayibhatala yishereni kakuhle nonke ibekwe phaa nospika no-MM zibekwe phaa imali. Then ndithi ke ngoku payroll tsala kumeya tsala ku-MM tsala kuspika imali le yabarhafu nantsi yayizolo. Uyabona? So ke ngoku ungafika uba zi-wrong political decisions zinyanzelwe kwaba bakhokele uba mabazenze nabo bazenze. Xa ibuya inkundla akaveli umthumi. Umthumi akaveli. Yabona ngoku nizobhatala. Xelela. Mna ke indikhethile inkundla. Enkosi kakhulu. Let's launch the public participatory and advisory forum, including rapid response, and I hope from here going forward, we will improve the work of our municipalities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. One last round of applause, colleagues. Thank you. Thank you, MEC, for that very thorough, detailed exposition and input in relation to the session that we're in. Now, MEC, as you're about to close, I was watching the mayors in the audience, and I picked up a mayor from Alfred Nzo, who was looking at you with some kind of uneasy eyes. And I'm not saying he's a mayor from the district, but he's a mayor within the district. And I also observed another mayor from OR Tambo in that jurisdiction also was looking at you with some uneasy eyes. And I just realized that they are worried that this may be referring to them. I'm not sure, I know the MEC did not say anything, but I just picked up that there is a particular mayor that was brushing his head in a very rough manner. And he's seated on my left, and I saw another mayor from Wartambo on my right, doing the same thing. But I must just say that what the MEC concluded with in relation to the steps being taken by the department is going to the order of the day. For the municipalities that themselves opt not to begin to comply with legislation and with regulations, up to a point where we make councillors and mayors and speakers pay from their own pockets in relation to unlawful decisions, we will never get things right. Until we make them pay from their own pockets and not use public funds, we will never make local government work so well. For as long as unlawful actions are taken and funded by public funds, politicians will forever escape from being held liable. So it's a very important aspect that I thought, and I know Mayor was Alfred, so but you must be very worried about this thing. We have come now to the end of the official program for the day as outlined and sent to us. We did the signing ceremony by the MEC, the mayor of the metro, and we're now going to have to conclude the process of the signing with the rest of the other leaders. We have arranged the signing ceremony in this order. When we do it, I think I'll announce when we'll do that. We have arranged that the Alfred Nzo district with the locals is going to be the first, followed by Amatole district with its own locals. BCM, Krisani will follow, and then Joe Gabi, Owar Tambo, and then Sarah Batman. So we'll have that order in terms of the signing, and I think that all of the leaders from the municipalities are going to be able to sign through the signature of the mayors and executive mayors. I'm advised that the signing ceremony that has now occurred, and that the one that is going to be occurring as well, will be concluded after we have closed the session officially. And that we do that. And that we do that in that order after that. And the whole purpose is to ensure that we round off the program, conclude it officially, and then have the leaders through the MMs and as well as the mayor signing off. Thanks very much for the lovely audience we had yesterday, the lovely audience we had this morning, the attendance of the mayors, the chief whips and the speakers, the MMs who were able to grace the occasion. Thanks very much to the House of Traditional Leaders, Nenkosi Zam from the local houses that were able to attend. Thanks very much to the legislature that was able to grace our occasion from yesterday up until today, led by the chair of the committee in the legislature. Thanks very much to the host municipality, which is the metro here, that was able to give us a very resounding kind of welcome yesterday with the band and every kind of niceties we had yesterday. And they continue to do that even today. They were able to provide us with some kind of a warm weather to receive us in this lovely city. So the weather, unfortunately, outside is not as warm as expected, but it is in their standards, it is warm. In our standards, it may be something different. We want to express our appreciation to the organizers on behalf of the department. I know my team worked so well to begin to ensure that this event is a success. Under the stewardship of TDG Siwonu and the rest of the management team that was working on this, and all the foot soldiers that participated in the organization of this matter. And our chief organizer, Uma Mudzedze, was actually deployed to begin to ensure that this work does not fail. They have all mastered the art of ensuring that all of us do get invited and all of us do attend as expected. We really are excited that we have reached a level where we have all of us embraced the MOU with the hope that, as we had planned, is going to be able to gain traction as we operationalize it going forward. The whole idea, as read by Mr. Ngam earlier on, is to begin to contract amongst ourselves that which is contained in the document that has been signed, which is going to be signed again by the MMs. So the whole contracting agenda is supposed to enable us to begin to appreciate much more deeply the role of public participation and the interface between ourselves and our communities. That's the whole intention. And with the hope that with the support of the chairperson of the portfolio committee, we'll be able to bridge the gap that we've had, both in terms of the municipalities and legislature, on the work that we are about to embark on. The white paper was very clear at the time when it was passed in 1998 on the whole agenda for local government and how it was defined. The white paper was very clear from that time. And the public participation and engagement of communities was well articulated there. Now, we often say that in the local government space, any person who has not been able to read the white paper has not been able to be schooled in local government. Now, if you're in the local government sector, you know all pieces of legislation, but you have never read the white paper, forget about local government. Because local government becomes the anchor, the base, the substance of what is supposed to occur, and it becomes the informant in terms of the contents of the rest of the piece of legislation we have. So it has been a very important founding document. And we are now actually putting a bit of light and impetus on what the white paper is actually envisaged. We know the white paper is now going through a review process, is going to be amended and refreshed and get the new content. The line of march is as follows now, MEC. That in the absence of anything, I'm not sure if there's anything that we're missing from the floor. I don't think there's anything from my table. I don't think there's anything from my table. What I'm advised to do is that we're now going to be, as we conclude this session, sing the national anthem, and then allow the mayors and the MMs to proceed after we've done the national anthem singing to sign off the document. Because we think that if we do it now, it may be very disruptive in terms of the organization we have. The whole idea is to ensure that there's a bit of seamlessness in terms of how we proceed there. Initially, the idea was that we'll do it now, but it may create a bit of havoc that is unintended and will become so much disorganized. The manner in which we want to do it is such that we maintain the dignity we have for now and close it officially and then go to the signatory, signing status or processes of this. I wish now to request that we all rise. We allow the band to lead us with the national anthem. I'm advised that the band is ready to begin to start that. Thank you very much. We can take our seats and then thanks very much, leadership. What we'll do now, as announced, after the signing has been done, the part of the hall of that site has been reserved for something called FAU, Food and Allied Workers Union is organizing that part. So I think that once we depart from this part of the formalities, we'll have to join the union on that side and engage with that kind of item on that side. Otherwise, can we now allow leadership that I think we formally have closed the session. We allow the districts to follow the order. Alfred Zo, you proceed, and then once done, Amatol is going to proceed, then BCM, Chris Hani, Joe Gabi, Or Tambo, as well as Sarah Patman. In that order, thanks very much.